So here we are at the day five are we? Day six. We're at day six and we are continuing on the review of Psalm 105. So today we're going to be at verse 36. And the reason why we're landing on verse 36, and you might have realized by now that although we're reviewing Psalm 105, we're not going line by line. As you read it or as you reflect upon it, whether this is your fifth, sixth, or 11th time that you're reviewing it, you will realize that I'm only pulling out certain verses that I want to talk about. And today we're talking about verse 36. Now, verse 36, it reads, Psalm 105, verse 36, it says, He smote also all the firstborn in their land and the chief of all their strength. The reason why we're talking about the firstborn is because there's something that we should know about this retelling. It's showing how God is faithful to his people. And when we look at the firstborn, it says that it is the chief of all their strength. So what we're seeing is that the firstborn is not just I'm having a firstborn and it's great. The firstborn is actually the strength of the family. The firstborn shows the strength of the family. It shows the foundation of the family. The firstborn actually is showing the spiritual state of the family. And why do I know this? It is because when we look at Jacob said that Reuben was the firstborn and of his strength. And this is showing the state that he was in. What was Reuben's state? Reuben was unstable as water. We know that when Jacob was younger, he had a lot of issues that he was struggling with. And so we're seeing that the firstborn carries this through. And this is the same spiritual state that is passed on. Why did God judge the firstborn of Egypt? The firstborn, like I said, represents the whole. It is a fraction of the whole. It represents the foundation. It represents the spiritual state, and it represents the nation. So the firstborn for Egypt would represent their state, their power, their might. What is it that they're trying to grow from? What is their continuity? Without continuity, you really don't have a people. So God judged the nation of Egypt by smiting the firstborn to wipe them out, because this is representing the arrogance, the power, the mindset of the people of Egypt. So when God slew the firstborn, he is judging that mindset, judging that rebellion, judging the hostility towards himself. So when we're looking at the firstborn, it says it is the strength of the people. The firstborn is a continuity. If you want to know what was happening in the state of mind of the parents when they had the children, look at the firstborn. Whatever behaviors, whatever struggles, whatever it is, it passed on from the father, because the father is the one who's carrying the seed, to the firstborn child. So now you're seeing the representation of what is happening in the parents. It is showing what the family esteems, what they represent, what it is that they need in that time. Where's their mindset? And another example I can give to you is the example of Cain. When you look at Cain, Cain was the firstborn of Adam and Eve. And Cain is representing their spiritual state. Notice Cain was hostile to the things of God. So this is just showing you how in this retelling we can see why the judgment of the firstborn. It seems arbitrary by itself, standing out, the firstborn, but God is showing you that it is a representation of the whole. So in wiping out the firstborn, he is really passing a judgment on that mindset and not allowing it to continue. This is Psalm 105. We're at verse 36, and I hope that you will join me for the next 2 days as we continue to review this psalm. God bless you.